Till my late teenage years, I was about 5'2", and I hit puberty really late. And even though, with God's grace, I'm 6 feet tall today, I spent a lot of my teenage years being shorter than most of the girls in my class. And when you're short and you're also not physically gifted, especially at that age, you sort of become an easy target. And as a consequence, you're also on the receiving end of a lot of bullshit from other people your age, especially guys your age who are far more physically gifted. And at that age, singling out or bullying is not just verbal in nature. There's levels to it. I am not one of those people who has like a lot of attachment to his school years, like how a lot of other people love to reminisce about their school years, and they, even in their adulthood, they want to go back to school to visit every once in a while. I don't feel those things. For me, it's like it's whatever. But between the ages of 15 and 25, a lot changed. I graduated, I grew a lot as a person, and a lot of the areas of my life were objectively good. I was in a good space with respect to my career. Content creation was working well for me. My risky career switch also paid off. And obviously, as a person, I also physically grew a lot. But just over a year ago, something very interesting happened. I ran into someone who I knew from back when I was in high school. And this was almost 7 years after high school ended. And that interaction that I had with her was a major turning point for me because it sort of solidified something that I kind of already knew. This person who was being so incredibly kind and so incredibly respectful and who was praising how much I had changed and how she watches all of my content and she's glad that I'm doing what I love and whatnot was at one point of time not this sweet to me at all. Like this conversation was a 180-degree turn compared to what I remember all of those years ago. Because I objectively remember being a much nicer and a much kinder person all those many years ago, back when I was still 5 feet 2 inches tall. And you didn't give me any of this kindness and respect back then. Like, what changed? And it pissed me off because it's like, now that I'm not the uncool person to be around, now I deserve your kindness and respect. Like, is that it? It was this specific instance that solidified something in my mind. And I've spoken about it a lot in my content pieces, especially on Instagram, but I've never really given any backstory to it. As much as we like to fight it, the way that we present ourselves, the way that we carry ourselves, the things that we do, and how competent we become through challenges and accomplishments massively influence the way people treat us. All of that, who you are underneath BS, comes after. This might sound horrible and superficial, but it's just the way that it is. Because, truth be told, it's nobody's burden to figure out who you are underneath and how deep your potential runs. Most people are too preoccupied with their own problems to sit and figure you out. And it's perfectly normal for people to want to choose to be around people who have qualities that they admire. I want to be around people who are in better shape than me, who are doing better than me, who command greater respect, and are people who I can learn something from also. All other factors held constant, I think you and I would also choose friends the same way. I mean, think about it. Most of the advice that we see around making better friends revolves around picking your friends wisely and picking friends who have qualities that you admire or you would want to embody because you're the average of the five people that you spend most of your time with. People who want to win want to be around winners or at least people who exhibit behavior that will turn them into winners eventually. It's not superficial, it's not malicious, it's just the way we're programmed. And I truly wish someone made me understand this back when I was in my late teenage or even early adulthood. But if you're someone who's in your 20s, let's say, the best thing you can do for yourself is to go ham at everything you do. I want you to do your level best at everything you dip your toes in and everything you touch. I'm telling you this from first hand experience. It will significantly improve the quality of your life and is going to give you access to more opportunities on all fronts. The kind of effort you put into your career, your social life, the way you present yourself, your health and fitness, and your general routine, all of that is going to reflect in the way that people treat you. Because we tend to treat people better when we see them do better things. So, the one thing that I wish I did earlier was to think of every stage of my life as a way to reinvent myself or as an opportunity to reinvent myself. And this is not on some toxic red pill BS because I want you to have fun in your life too. There is no point in being someone who sits behind his desk for 18 hours in a day but doesn't have a single functional social bone in their body. And let's say you're in your late teenage, or if you're in your early 20s, or even your mid 20s, and you have no idea where to start. I'll just give you a few steps that I wish I gave myself all those many years ago, and I hope it'll help you too. I want you to focus on four pillars at this point. I want you to focus on your fitness, your nutrition, a social activity, and a skill. Your fitness is rather simple. I want you to weight train at least 4 times in a week. If you can get into some sort of sport, that would be amazing also. But make sure that you're weight training. That's going to be the backbone of everything physical that you do for the rest of your life. This doesn't mean that you have to start spending 3 hours in the gym every day. Even if you spend about an hour or an hour and a half, 3 to 4 times in a week, that'll be great. Get a couple of cardio sessions in apart from that, and you're good to go. Number two is nutrition. Keep this simple. If you don't know where to start, I want you to start eating whole foods, reduce the amount of oil in your food, increase the amount of protein in your food, have enough fruits and vegetables, and eat out less frequently. This, in and of itself, in addition to having a good level of hydration during the day, is going to massively improve how you feel. Apart from that, nutrition and fitness is the foundation of everything else that you do in your life. So, this is going to have a ripple effect on everything else that you ever dip your toes in. Number three is social activity. When I say social activity, I'm not asking you to, like, let's say, become an ultra social party animal. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to pick up an activity that puts you across more number of people. Joining a running club, joining a debating society, or any other club, if you're in college, is going to give you access to a lot many more people, and it's going to teach you a lot of skills also. I remember in college, in my second year, I joined the debating society of my college. And on my best day, I was average. I've gotten my ass kicked at least a couple of dozen times. But apart from helping me make more friends, I also learned a bunch of things that I still use to this day. So, indulging in some sort of activity that you know is going to put you across many more people, and it's not an activity that you're just doing from the solace of your room, is going to massively help you in growing a lot as a person. Because it doesn't just teach you how to make friends, it also teaches you how to work towards a common goal with a bunch of people. And overall, it's going to be the most important factor in helping you grow as a person. And lastly, I want you to become dangerously good at a skill. If you're in your early 20s, then having a high income skill is obviously going to be something that will help you out a lot because it makes you more employable, and it could very well be the way that you earn your livelihood. But I don't want to put that pressure on you to begin with. Just take something that has a very wide application and become dangerously good at it. If you have no idea where to start, become dangerously good at speaking and become dangerously good at writing well. You do that, and that's going to have a carryover on pretty much everything that you do in your life. There's not a single career where these two skills won't help you out. But more importantly, keeping all of this aside, if you're going through a phase in your life where you feel like you're not very respected, or you feel like life is just not what you want it to be, don't let it turn you resentful. Because I've been through that phase, and trust me, it does not help you. It only drives you further down that black hole, and it drives you further away from potentially blessed relationships and connections and whatnot. Like, you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of becoming a resentful individual, because it's also really hard to get out of. And I'm talking from personal experience. Take whatever phase of life you're in as a bit of an opportunity to reinvent yourself. And when you start, you're going to face massive resistance. Your first few steps are almost going to feel like as if you have a 100 kg ball chained to each one of your feet. And it's going to be incredibly hard to get the ball rolling. It's like you're starting with weight on your shoulders, and as time goes by, and as your progress is noticed and the world treats you better, your life is objectively better, every next step becomes a little easier and you're ready for bigger challenges in life. But up until that point, don't let resentment grip you. That's it for this video. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not really scripting my videos all that much. At this point in time, I just want to get better at talking in front of a camera without a proper structure or without knowing what I'm going to say next. And while that might land me in a lot of trouble, it's a skill that I want to learn. And since I'm new on YouTube and I don't really have much of a following here, I can use this space to fuck up a little bit. But regardless, if this video helped you out in any capacity, I would appreciate you sharing this with a friend, because while we do have a beautiful community on Instagram, this channel is only going to grow through word of mouth and you sharing it with people that you think this might help. I hope to see you in the next.